Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma arhamna ya arhamar rahimin. We are going through Surah Al A'raf. Our next verse is from the next page, verse number 85, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about another prophet, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim, wa ila Madyana akhahum Shuhaiban. To the people of Madian, Allah says, we sent the prophet. His name was Shuhaib. And what did he say to those people? قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهِ. He said, O people, O my people, اعْبُدُوا اللَّهِ, worship Allah. Sounds familiar? Nuh alayhi salam, Hud alayhi salam, Salih alayhi salam, they all went to their people teaching this concept. Very, very important, fundamental one. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مَا لَكُمْ مِنْ إِلَهٍ غَيْرُهُ. You do not have any ilah other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قَدْ جَاءَتْكُمْ بَيِّنَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. Indeed, a clear proof has come from Rabbikum, from your Lord to you. A clear proof has come that He is the only one to be worshipped. Then He is addressing them, explaining to them one of the things which they were doing in their day-to-day life, in their transactions, in business transaction. He said, for full kayla wal mizana, you give full measure and full weight when you're dealing with the people, transactions and all that. Don't cheat people. Don't cheat people in these transactions. And then he said, wala tabkhasu nasa ashya. Don't reduce in their properties, the people's properties and all that. Don't cheat them, don't deceive them, don't reduce them in their compensation and all that. You need to be fair in your transactions, in business transaction with other people. So it is addressing the malpractices which was prevalent in that time, where people were cheating other people in their transactions and all that, reducing the amount and reducing the weight and all that kind of stuff for a temporary gain. He said, don't do that. Don't spread corruption in the earth once it has been set in order. Then Shuhaib says, ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. So deal justly with other people in their transaction, because that is خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ in kuntum mu'minin. Indeed, if you are believers, if you are the true believers, you be just on these transactions. Very important, because what happens is, some of the people, the Muslims sometimes, they worship, they pray 5 times a day, they do all the, the obligatory things. But when it comes to the dunyavi things, where they deal with other people in their transaction, businesses and all that, they cheat, they shortchange and all that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially in the people of Madian, these kind of corruptions are so prevalent. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a prophet to fix them, to teach them, to be fair on this transaction, because it's not worth it. And there is no barakah in it. Whatever we try to gather by, cheating other people and deceiving and hiding the faults and things like that, that's not right. Especially in kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. Because basically, Shuhaib alayhi salam's people of Madian, they had prophets came to them before as well, or the messengers must have went to them. And in this verse, it is clear that Shuhaib alayhi salam says, if you are true believers, don't do this. That means they must have been believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they had Islam in them, but it was not reflecting in their transactions and their day-to-day, things, business dealings with other people and all that. They were showing that kind of corruptions and dishonesty and all that, and that's been addressed in this particular verse, and that is a sin. So that's why Shuhaib alayhi salam is spending time in explaining these things to them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us to understand these implications. It's about worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and giving the haqq of the other people. We can't cheat them, and in any of our things, we have to be fair and transparent, because at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly watching. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those people who are just in our transactions. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen wa akhir da'wana. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum.